Hey there, John Stevens here, and I am pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA. And welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text and we tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree. Anyway, or the kids' room, or the garage, or the junk drawer. But we're doing from the Dollar Tree and able to get out and masked up and all of that, but I am glad that you are here. This is for July 4th, 2021, the 6th Sunday after Pentecost. And I'm not doing something on July 4th. I'm not doing it about July 4th. But if you want to give a nod to the day, you might consider having two items for your children's sermon, and one being this. Walking out and you sit down and you've got it on your head. You walk back, maybe you're like, I'm going to grab something. You go to grab it and you put it on your head and you grab your other stuff and you come down and you sit down and you're like, what? Do you mean that it's somebody's birthday today? Talk about birthdays and etc. So that's just a nod to the day, because Sunday is on July 4th, and we're going to have folks in the congregation that will appreciate it, but I don't take it any further than that. That's me. Because when I say God bless America, God bless the entire world, and so you could tie it into that. But that's the nod to the day. So it's a birthday, wonderful. We should celebrate that tonight, maybe with fireworks and stuff like that, or maybe not, because my dogs don't like fireworks. But we should celebrate with sparklers and sparklers and more sparklers, and then that's that reference. But moving on into the texts for the day. So looking at the gospel lesson about being sent and being welcomed, that when we are sent out in the gospel lesson, the disciples are sent out, and they are sent into in town, and Jesus says, if you're welcomed, great. If not, shake the dust off. And at least I think I'll have to check the Mark text, but that idea of being welcomed and not. And I just got this, so there's two items that I am playing around with. One is a compass, in the sense that when we're being sent out, we are being, God sends us out, and a compass helps us find our way. And there is a sense that in being sent, that we're trusting and that we're following what God is asking us to do. And so I'm looking at, I've got these compass rings. They're, of course, top quality, and I recommend you take these camping with you. I actually, do they say on here? No, they don't. They're just favor surprise. There's some places, I'm curious. I'm going to open this up and see, because there's some of these, I've used compasses before, or toy compasses, where they actually give you a warning on the back. I can't see this. Well, if they don't tell you, I'm telling you now, this is not a real compass. So anyway, there we are. But it represents a compass, being sent and knowing that God walks with us. And so there's that, using the compass. There's also creating a welcome mat, where that not only are we called as people being sent into the world, but we're also called to welcome those who come to our place, that they are ones that have been sent into our place, whether they know it, whether we know it. God is acting and God is active, and so we are to welcome folks. And I really like putting the welcome. I like doing a welcome mat at the communion table, at the communion rail, so that as people come, they know that they are welcome in that place. And so that act of welcome. So using the compass is the idea. The other item, and I went to the Dollar Tree to look for the compasses, and then I came across this, and this is the second springboard, but it's still being sent out, and that is a Hot Wheel car. I just actually picked the blue Hot Wheel. They had all kinds of race cars, but I just picked this one because I was like, this looks like the most ordinary car that they had there. Doesn't matter, but the Hot Wheel car and a Hot Wheel car launcher. And that's what got me excited. I'm like, oh yeah, we could have fun with this. The idea of that we are sent out into the world. I've used, I believe, before. If I haven't used it, I should have used it. But they used to, I'd find at the Dollar Tree the chickens that you can pull back and the chickens fly. And it's being sent into the world. But here, the Hot Wheels, the launcher, where you've got the Hot Wheel goes in here, and then it gets pulled back, and it pulls back and it stops, and then you can press the button, and the Hot Wheel gets sent. So, all talking about that, how we are sent into the world to be voices of God's grace and God's kindness and God's gentleness, and that we speak of God's love and God's justice, and how our neighbor here is treated. We treat the neighbor there the same way, full of kindness, and we speak the word of justice, equality. We're there. So that's the springboard. This off we go. All right. So I hope those can be helpful and useful. It's fun stuff, especially I love it when they have something like the launcher, where it's just like, okay, so what are we going to do with this? Anyway. All right. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for the work that you're doing with your kids and your families. I know they appreciate it, and if they forget to tell you, let me tell you, you're rocking it, and thank you so much for your work and your faithfulness in this calling of ours. Speaking of being called and sent, I know that you know what that feels like. All right, peace. We'll see you next week.